So on my mirror project, which is a continuation of some earlier YouTubes where I did the disassembly, I have an eagle arm that was on here that was installed on the bus by, presumably by Ted Williams. Oh, look, a little yellow jacket nest in, Ted Campbell in Williams, California. I got my old GM mirror mount back from him, but this is a classic issue. The Allen screw is rusted in place, and that part, which is, I have a nice clean one there, is also stuck down on the bottom of that. So, you know, I rebuilt the other mirror on my driver's side. This is the passenger side. I believe I can get that out of there. You see what I did to the Allen wrench last time, trying to get that out on my other mirror. So I believe I have an impact that'll fit in there, a non-destroyed one. I know I destroyed a few last time, getting that out of there, exploded them, busted them, whatever. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp this thing in a vise nicely, wrap a cloth around it because it's a little banged up, but I don't want to totally chew it up. Stick it in my vise, get my impact out here, and see if I can coax that thing out of there. Okay, this should be reasonably entertaining to some of you. We'll see what happens here. I'm just going to go real easy on it. It's not even budging. You get some PB. Okay, let's had a dose of PB. It's got that down in there so it won't try and wiggle around on me so much. Let's see if I can kind of wedge it in there. Alright, here goes. Again, it's probably going to break this bit. Hey, it's coming. Come on. Well, it was coming. Let me run it the other way for a second. Maybe if I run it down in there, I can pop that other thing out the other side. Oh, actually, that may be the best way to extract this. Well, I don't know. I want to bring it out the top because I need those threads chased anyways. There it comes. Come on. The thing just fell out the bottom. The spring base, I guess you could call it. kind of boogered up here. All right, I'm gonna go the other way and then I'll chase this with a tap. Okay, it just dropped out the bottom. Huh. All right, so we have one very crusty, rusty spring base piece. Wow, it's actually like grown rust. And one Allen screw. It's not in bad shape. The other one I pulled out was way worse. Oh, this is why it wouldn't want to come out, because it's rusted down here at the tip of it. That's why she wasn't backing out for me. Well, I mean, it's out of there in 3 minutes. That's not bad, right? It's because I've done this before. It probably took a few hours for the last one I did. And a few busted tools. I was doing the last one on the bus. All right, so I'm going to chase this with a tap and get this ready to install my parts that I cleaned up a couple weeks ago. Okay, you get to look over my shoulder while I put this mirror back together. I just spent probably an hour just kind of cleaning things up. Used a little bit of solvent, and most of these parts already soaked in solvent. But I had to do some cleanup on this arm, which I had kind of forgotten about doing that part. So in this section here, this is the part that attaches to the bus. There is a spring and a little nub that go in this section here. And I didn't have this. I had to go to a special hardware store to get this. This was not a typical item. It's fine thread. I don't remember. It's probably about I think maybe it's 5/16, and you wanted an Allen so that it, because you can't really get a socket down in here. So the little nub sticks out here and fits into a notch on the post over on the bus. So that part's ready. Now in here, I've already got the Allen in the bottom of this here. So we're going to add the spring cap, I guess, for lack of a better word. The spring. This part, which is the cup. Now I'm going to grease this. So let me go get my grease. This is synthetic, Valvoline synthetic. I don't know why, this is supposed to be good stuff, but I've observed separation behavior out of it. It's like, coming into its constituent parts here. There's some liquid and some solids here. Not too crazy about that. Looks kind of like syrup and peanut butter together. Well, strawberry. My wheel bearings and my bus is full of that stuff, so I hope I hope it's not doing that inside my wheel bearings. Yeah. There's no seal on this. It's allowed to get water in it, and there's a drain on the opposite side, a little drain hole, so you don't want to plug that. At least when it's mounted in its normal position. I do recommend stainless for this because how this, you know, this needs more grease in it. I'm gonna take it apart and stick some more grease in it. I neglected to clean this part. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and get this cleaned up. Okay, I went ahead and cleaned that up and added some more grease down in here and screwed it back together. For my cleanup on stuff, a lot of times around the shop I just use a bottle of soapy water mix, Dawn. It will remove wax off of paint, but there was a bunch of caulking on here that I wanted to get off, and I didn't care, so that's this is a nice thing to have around the shop. So in my other video where I rebuilt the other mirror, I've got some stuff in there where I went fully disassembled on this. So I took this off and rebuilt the guts of that. So if you need to see that, you can look on the channel and see that content. On that rebuild of that mirror, this would not come out of here. It was welded in there, dissimilar metal, I guess. So yeah, this one, I was fortunate that it came apart. So I can adjust the tension on this guy. It needs to be pretty dang tight when it's on there. But that's nice and loose. You know, we'll do the final on it when it's on the bus. So there's a groove in there. It needs to get positioned correctly. So I kind of gotta get that. Oh, look, there's soapy water in there. I don't want soapy water in there. Let me give that a little dry. Dry that out. There was no grease in this area. It's not supposed to rotate here. I think you get all the rotation you need out of the ball. So yeah, it's got to go in. It's got to go in that far. Just kind of eyeballing it there. I think I want that pretty dang tight, so I'm going to go ahead and crank it down extra tight. Okay, so this little guy fell out, needs to go back in here. And I think it's ready to go back on the bus. I'm going to go ahead and lubricate this this hole in here with the spring and stuff in it because it's steel, and this housing is aluminum and dissimilar metal corrosion. I just, want to try and mitigate that. I think the part on the bus that it goes into is aluminum, so I think that's okay, but I'm just going to go ahead and put some grease in here. Just try and minimize corrosion, really. I'm going to go ahead and just grease this mating surface here a bit. I'm sure water gets in here and stuff, so I don't know if it needs grease or not, but it's getting it. Okay. Time to go over to the bus. Okay, we're over on the passenger side of the bus now. This sort of rubber fiber sort of a washer was on here. Trying to do it one-handed because I got the mirror in my other hand. It's not cooperating. This is a two-handed job. tight fit. It gets a little bigger down here on the bottom part. There we go. It's kind of crowned up on me. Hopefully that'll mash down okay. Make sure the little peg is still in there. I can feel it engaged on there. Castle nut is 1 1/16 socket. So I'm not sure if this is supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be indexed into that notch that was on the post. And this castle nut's supposed to have something retain it, safetied. But there is some movement here, right? And so I think, you can tighten this thing down to hold it in that notch tighter. Or, I think what a lot of people do is they just tighten this castle nut down so damn tight that the thing welds itself to the bus and they can never move it again. So I'm going to see how this looks from the driver's seat and fiddle around with it a little bit. Okay, once you got the mirror adjusted where you want it, which I did, I snugged everything up, retained the castle nut with a cotter pin, screw down the decorative cap, and it gets retained with a screw, Phillips head screw. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching this old bus. Please consider subscribing and hitting the like button. Helps us out a lot. Thanks.